I wanted to share this with you very quickly. So, I was watching IGN's new video where they do an interview with Jerry, who played Seven of Nine on Star Trek Voyager. And she made an interesting revelation. So, she's going to actually be in the new Picard series that will be on, I believe, CBS All Access, where Patrick Stewart reprises his role as Picard. But it takes place something like 20 years after Voyager, I think, which is on. I just can't believe I'm saying 20 years after Voyager. Did that really happen? And it's quite significant. We're actually going to watch a little bit of the interview, not a ton. What I specifically want, and shout out to Aquila. He says, "Hey man, what's going on, Aquila? What we're specifically going to be discussing on today's episode of the Angry Guy podcast is this right here." So the title seems is innocent enough. It says why Seven of Nine blames Picard, but we're gonna jump back a little bit and we'll explain this. So Siffin of Nine, she is now she's been back in the been back in what is it? The we live in the Alpha Quadrant, I guess. So she's been back in the Alpha Quadrant for a while now. After her time with the Borg and everything, things have changed. She looks great she looks great. She really does. But she reveals that she's really upset with Picard and she's upset with the Federation, which it appears she considers to be the patriarchy. Guys, this is crazy. This makes literally no sense. So in Star Trek, you have to understand that the Federation is more or less a gender neutral organization. This is very, very odd. Very, very odd. I mean, there's no patriarchy in the Federation. It's all about what you want to do. It's about going out and working. The concept of money no longer exists in Starfleet. So here's what some people don't understand. People don't work for money in Star Trek anymore. Not in their generation. By their time, money is a thing of the past, and it's no longer the focus of a person's life, which is pretty amazing, but that's the case. So they're not fighting over money. The purpose of the Federation is essentially our humanity at this point is to basically help the universe, be helpers of mankind, which is pretty crazy. And they have, there's some things that have happened in the Federation for the last 20 years. Not everything has been good, but you understand, for example, there are high-ranking women in the Federation. A perfect example, and I'm thinking we're probably going to see her, is going to be Kate Muldrow, who was Captain Janeway. Captain Janeway was one of the most powerful, you heard me right, commanders ever, captains ever in the Federation. I'm just being as clear as possible about this. This is really, really odd. But what's really more surprising is the fact that Seven has now joined up evidently with a group of freedom fighters known as the Feminist Rangers. This was something that caught me a little bit off guard. So I'm going to actually play a bit of the clip for you guys so you guys could see this. Shout out to Cryptonomy. Says, good to see you, bro. Yes, there's a weird occurrence. I know what you mean. Also, UK is trying to create a software that can track people's crypto to tax them. So we're actually working on a new crypto tax course for you guys, and it should be out within the next week. So that's something that I'll get out for you guys soon. So it'll actually show you how to. About the crypto taxing software. The IRS has been working on that kind of software for years now, and it hasn't been successful. You see, there's this thing called privacy coins, and as a result of that, it makes it very, very difficult to track people. Doctors in the chat, he says Sharkman, yeah, hello, bro, hello. I'm like sitting here like, oh, okay, yeah, the old guy. You know what's funny? Some of you guys were so angry when I dropped the so-called label, and now they're popping back up. I'm just letting you guys know, so for example, there's a lot of changes happening, and I will recommend it. So like there's like like one more just like $100 spot on my Patreon, and so we're actually like gonna be tightening up things very soon because we have a new business manager, and it's not going to be as easy to reach me as it is now, for example. But we'll talk more about that later. Anyway, so they've unveiled the Feminist Rangers, and I'm like, what the heck? Let's listen to a bit of this. So let me go back. Let's just jump back a little bit, and let's go ahead.
Our fleet and the Federation in large.
So, okay, so just to be, she blames Starfleet and the Federation in large for the things that have happened for like the last 20 years. Let me do this. I'm gonna go ahead and just fix the screen a little bit because I wasn't sure if you guys were hearing the audio from the video before. Hey, I was always with you. No, you weren't, doctor. No, you weren't. You were not always with me, dude. That's an absolute lie. You were not always with me. You turned on me, actually. Yes, you did, dude. And it's unbelievable that you're now trying to pretend that you were always with me. That is not true. You did turn on me, dude. You did turn on me. And so don't tell that lie. That's a complete and utter lie. You can say what you want about me, but that's some betray. Like own your decision, but don't try to act like you were in my you had my back, because you didn't. You absolutely didn't.
Been through a lot, both of them. Seven, I think, holds Starfleet and the Federation in large part responsible for much of it. The universe is a mess, and I think she sort of initially sees Picard as a representation of that.
So here's where things become problematic. She says the universe is a mess. Now, I'm going to say that maybe she doesn't understand the scope of Star Trek, because in the original Star Trek, the entire series takes place in the entire series actually took place in the galaxy. Yeah, took place in our single galaxy. Okay? In the Milky Way. The entire series took place in the Milky Way. All right? So our galaxy, we have these different quadrants. Like we have the alpha quadrant, the delta quadrant, the beta quadrant, and the gamma quadrant. We reside in the alpha quadrant. But you have to understand something, that's just one galaxy. All right? One galaxy in a much larger universe. For those of you thinking, wait a minute, but they've explored like other universe. They've gone to the edge of the universe before. When that happened, there were a few times where that happened in the series, and that happened because of, let's say, Q. And we don't even know what that constitutes the so-called edge of the universe is. Okay? It's some very weird stuff, but we've been in the alpha quadrant, and the alpha we've been in the alpha quadrant in the Milky Way galaxy this entire time. We have yet to actually cross out into another galaxy. I'm making this, forget about the multiverse. In Star Trek, we've never left the Milky Way as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it would be a big deal if we had. Okay? So this is her saying this, the universe is a mess. No. That's incorrect. We don't know what's happening in the rest of the universe in Star Trek. That's absolutely incorrect. We have no idea what's actually happening in the rest of the universe in Star Trek, because we're still in the Milky Way. The Milky Way is so massive. The Milky Way is so massive that in Star Trek, we still have not left the Milky Way. We've gone to different dimensions, evidently. We've traveled through time. We've done a number of different things, but we have not been able to successfully and casually leave the Milky Way because it's so large. All right? We haven't pulled. It's an interesting thing that it's a feat that we have yet to pull off, and they don't really seem too interested in addressing. But don't act like the universe is a mess, like the entire universe. Yeah, it's like, oh, we have dominion over the universe. We can't even, it's been like 500 years, and we still can't get out of the Milky Way. All right, I'm just putting that out. So, like, oh, the universe is a mess. How about we step outside first? Man, how about we actually get outside of the Milky Way first, and then we can go talk about that. Tomas says angry's becoming spiritual. Hey, bro, let me jump. I've been going down the spiritual road for a while.
She's been working, I think I'm allowed to say, with sort of a group of freedom fighters called the Feminist Rangers.
Did you just hear Feminist Rangers? Guys, I kept going back and forth, back and forth. Did I really hear that correctly? She's working with a group of freedom fighters called the Feminist Rangers in a gender-neutral organization where the concept of money no longer exists. Wealth and resources are more or less available and redistributed quite equally amongst people. But that's not enough. This is very, very, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't understand the concept for this. But then again, I mean, it's always something or the other. It's basically illustrating that no matter how perfect you make things, no matter what you do, in Starfleet, women are 100% equal to men. There's no money difference. There's no money. Money no longer exists. There's no power difference. There's nothing. It's all about your merit. You work, you do whatever there's equal opportunity for everyone. They don't have equal representation because in Starfleet, you choose what you want to do. You choose if you want to become a Starfleet officer. You choose if you want to become a captain. You have to work for it. You choose if you want to be an engineer or a journalist or a scientist. There are no doors. There's no glass ceiling. No, none of these things exist. It's really mind-boggling. So what exactly would feminist rangers be doing? Fighting for equality in a universe where in a galaxy where equality, this just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. This doesn't make any. What are they? What's the argument here? What patriarch? What I don't. What is it? What? This is, guys. I gotta admit, this is a head scratcher for me, because why even make this into a How do you make something that's basically, you can't make it political? I mean, did I really just hear? She just said the Feminist Rangers. Let's try again.
Initially sees Picard as a representation of that. She's been working, I think I'm allowed to say, with sort of a group of freedom fighters called the Feminist Rangers, who are trying
the Feminist Rangers
to keep some semblance of order in the mess that is the galaxy. This is the first time that Seven and Picard actually meet. They know each other by reputation. And as I said before, Seven's not on the, oh, he's a god bandwagon, I think, initially when she meets him, because she holds him partly responsible for what Starfleet has done. And
she holds Picard, the guy who basically took down, went after the Borg, and then there's also her former captain, Captain Janeway, who's one of the most powerful people in the series ever. I mean, potentially being second to none, maybe not even Picard himself, maybe being held in an even higher regard than Picard in some circles, many circles. And what? Another interesting thing is, if you want to talk about who has been careless, Captain Janeway was careless. Like, she did some crazy things, but I loved her. She was one of the best captains ever. I just don't understand what she's talking about. You have an entire series where the focus is on women in power, women who are captains. Look at Discovery. I mean, you're characters who are of all different represented and all. I don't understand. This is the perfect utopia. This is the perfect universe. So exactly what are you talking about? Freedom fighters? Guys, do you understand the concept of a freedom fighter? A freedom fighter is not simply is not typically just a person who is, advocating against violence. Freedom fighters, so-called freedom fighters, we're talking about guerrillas, okay? Guerrillas. So Siffin of Nine is a member of potentially an illegal guerrilla organization. Okay, freedom fighters, a guerrilla organization that's attempting to exert their will over the galaxy, and and they believe this, and they believe that they're better than the Federation. The feminist rangers. I don't understand. But wasn't the whole thing about feminism supposed to be about women and equality? I don't understand. So what are they? So what? They're using weapons. What, guys? This series is beginning to worry me. What kind of message is it sending for society that modern day feminists need to become freedom fighters and use violence to solve their means? Because this is a horrible message. You should not use violence to solve any of your problems. Violence only begets more violence. So why would you feminist freedom fighters? It doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, it really just sounds like they're looking for a means of, escalating it, like, putting feminism in a hero role, but then at the same time, mixing it with justifying acts of violence because hey, we're doing good. And it's another interesting point, because basically it's trying to illustrate that doesn't matter how far in the future you go, feminism will always be there. It's just this is just people will always find something to complain about, I guess, man. In a gender neutral society, everything is falling apart, and the solution is the feminist Power Rangers, like feminist freedom fighters, okay? A group of vigilantes that are taking the law into their own hands in the name of feminism. Feminist freedom fighters, a group of feminist vigilantes that are taking the law into their own hands. Yeah.
In her view.
We had a rule on the show, which was that we did not want to just bring back legacy characters to bring them back. They had to come back because the story could not tell itself without those characters. There were two things that came to mind immediately with Picard. When you think of Picard, you think of his relationship with Data, and you think of the Borg. There were two really interesting things there. One was Seven and Picard have never been on screen together before, right? So that was a really interesting opportunity. And what they share, even though they've never spoken, is that they were both assimilated by the Borg. So they would obviously both be haunted by element of their lives. We certainly know that both of them have been individually. And now, what does it mean for them to see that in each other? Is it too painful? Is it a little like staring into the sun? Is it comforting? And those are really interesting questions to ask.
I think that they have commonality, and I think we did choose not to have them have encounter, because obviously there's 20 years of history that we had to fill in. We chose to keep them apart so that we could see that meeting for the first time as well.
And then again, the fact that they'd never been on screen together was just too delicious, right?
And there you have it, guys. So guess we should be looking. Oh my gosh. So Mickey says something pretty cool. He says, "Angry, have you eaten up with cancer?" So the solution is what? More cancer. This is guys, this is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen. I don't know what the heck this truly is, man. I don't know what the heck this truly is. Like, I guess, huh? Yeah, guys, it's time that you begin focusing on yourself, your happiness, your wealth, and it's also time that you start looking to a new country. I've told you many times already, get your passport together, and now I have I have a course ready for you guys that's going to help you to, get out while you still can, because it's just the best thing for you right now, man. It's just the best thing for you right now. So you can head over to cryptomoney.academy. We actually have a sale going until the 12th, and then all the course prices are going to be going up. And that ends in 12 days. But one of the main courses that you should be focusing on right now is actually our course teaching you how to flee. All right? The crypto-friendly countries that you can flee to safely, so that you don't have to, be at risk of any of the nonsense that's happening internationally. And then this course usually goes for almost $2,000. And right now you can get it for $299.99. Again, the price is going up at the end of the month. Okay, so it'll be going up, and then it'll be working its way all the way back up to 2,000. So basically, this course is going to teach you the best crypto-friendly countries that expats can flee to, and you learn the best countries not only for crypto, but also off-the-grid living, cheap expenses, how to survive in these countries, benefits of living in these countries, and much more. And the full details of the course you can see are below. Some of the things that you're going to learn in the course are the most crypto-friendly countries for expats, survival to flee to, survive off the grid using only cryptocurrency, instant travel requirements for foreigners to enter and live in these countries, instant travel requirements for any country, instant living expenses calculated for any country, instant cost of living in all of these countries, and of course you get the bonus secret hidden pleasures and the reasons why you may want to live in these countries. All right, so this course is the best crypto-friendly countries for expats to flee to. And I mean, it's really a big deal because this is going to help you to actually, like, you know, get out of the situation so many of us are in right now, and just move away from this nonsense, start over and live a higher quality life, you know, because right now the US, can you really call this a way of living? This is a joke. If you wanted to pick up the course, it's on cryptomoney.academy. You can find links in the description of the video to the website. Pick up the course, start learning, because guys, right now we're kind of like, you know, I just don't think it's not worth sticking around in the US anymore. What do you guys think about this whole situation with what do you think about this whole situation with Picard, Star Trek Picard, and the fact that the feminists are back in 2500 or 2600, whatever year it is, and hey, they're fighting what now, the Ferengis? I don't know. There's always something, man. There's always something, you know. Thomas says, don't flee, fight the nonsense. Dear Thomas, he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. All right? You have to listen. I'm not telling people to simply, well, yeah, first off, you got to get out. All right? If y'all want to listen, you have to get yourself out of the States. Get yourself out of the West. Get yourself out of those European countries or East Asian countries, those countries that are where you're struggling, and build a life for you somewhere else. You know, guys, you have to leave and set up a life outside of your home country. All right, find a cheaper way of living. Travel, learn a little bit. This way, you know how to survive. Once you know how to survive off the grid, once you know how to survive out of the US, and you know how to move around, that makes the biggest difference. Many of you don't know how to move around like this, okay? A lot of you also are talking about fighting. How are you going to fight when you have nothing to fight with? You have to build something, you know, have a roof over your heads first, have money, have a means of survival first, and then you can work towards making a difference. But first you have to at least ensure that your foundation is solid. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. All right? Someone does need to pick up the pieces. We do need to be accountable and rebuild our world. But at the same time, we can't do everything at one time. And we have to ensure, before we can help anyone else, we have to ensure that we're stable, that we're able to sustain helping others. And many of us don't have that right now. I'm just being honest with you. All right? Many of us absolutely don't have that stability. Well, I mean, like, I'm not in the US, so it's different for me. I've been working on this for years, so I'm able to live, right? But I've been making friends. You guys, what are you gonna do? I'm just being real. What are you gonna do? All right? I kept telling y'all for a long time, and y'all didn't listen. Anyway, guys, what do you think about this whole thing with feminist Power Rangers? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you think it's something interesting, or how you think this is going to result, and are you surprised that feminism is still around, like 400, 500, 600 years from now? What do you think about this, guys? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and hit that like button. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to let's get 50 likes on this video. Tell YouTube that you want more of these videos to come out. And let me know what you think about this format, with the podcast. If you want me to continue doing more of these podcasts where I sit down and talk like this, I'm also going to be, and also if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, so for example, if you'd like to join me on one of my podcasts, you can just hit me up on, just shoot me an email. And I mean, that's it, guys. What do you think? And do you still plan on watching Picard? Do you think this will just be like a small thing that they just put in there because it's Hollywood these days, or do you think it's going to be a larger focal point of the series and expanding and broadening the scope and reach of feminism in the series? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe. Like I said, let's get this video up to 50 likes. Mickey's there talking about the won't go broke road to madness. Matt, bro, I can't even blame you on that, man. I can't even blame you on that. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for you. Love Jesus, because he is everything, and he will carry you through the best of. He'll carry you through the worst of it all into the best and lead you to the promised land. Be kind to each other, because we're all each other has. Money really is nothing. And yeah, that's it. I will catch you guys in the next one. Please be safe out there. Peace.